Find him a shidduch. Oh yeah. All right. Good. Thank you. Send him regards if you see him.
I will.
I'll be
so
outside
let's
your
go.
house in a minute.
Okay. Just honk. I'll come right out. Thank you.
He's doing the daf. Don't bother him.
That's right. Okay, where do we leave off?
Consider
two dots, right?
Not the top line on the top line.
Yeah.
2 dots.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. 2 dots. Okay, thank you.
Where?
2 dots top of Lamed Aleph Amud Aleph.
Was together with Naomi Pearlman, Queens College, 1968.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long ways back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so not yet. So we should. I don't know her name. Her name. I don't know what was her father's name. What was Mr. What was his name? Or whatever. Okay, and the Neshama should have an aliyah. Okay, so Zok the Gemara. So Zaymer Shalavaisai, Zaymer Shalavaisai. Right? Each one of them, again, we're going through all these chaverim. Here it doesn't say chaver arachamim. Right? Here it says Zaymer Shalavaisai and Zaymer Shalavaisai.
Maybe they're brothers.
No, because then it would be the same father, no?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so.
Okay, maybe. All right, let's see. This one says it's his father, and this one says it's his father's. And this one brings witnesses that it's his father. And this one brings Adam that he was there for the right amount of years. Right? So again, each one has their own set of witnesses. So Amar Rabba, Ma'aloy l'shakar. Why should he lie? Meaning, well, that's otherwise known as migu. Meaning, why? Meaning the guy who said that it's his father's, and then he brings a raya that he had a chazaka there. He could have lied much better. He could have said, "Yeah, it was your father's. I agree, it was your father. I bought it off of you, and I have Adam that I was there for 3 years." He would have been believed. There would be no shiloh whatsoever if the guy said it, right? He'd win the case hands down. But instead, he chose to say the truth. Well, we're assuming since he went the road of another way, must be he's not a liar. Right? That's what the Gemara is saying. So, because again, Amar Rabba, Ma'aloy l'shakar. He could have said, I bought it from you, and I ate the years of chazaka. Now, this is very, very interesting here, the Rashbams, in how Gemara works. So this is Rabbah. Now Rabbah was Abaya's Rebbe, right? So Amrle Abaya. So Abaya said, "What are you saying, Mali l'shakar? He could have lied. Mali l'shakar b'makam edim lo yamrinon. We never say Mali l'shakar b'makam edim. And here you have Adam. You have Adam. The other guy brought Adam, right? So how can you say we don't go with the migu over Adam? Right? So Hadar, yeah.
I just realized, I didn't realize it this morning. That's a very good right for me. That Migli is an issue. This is why would the guy doesn't lie when there's Adam. Doesn't say Migli, it says he doesn't lie. The Gemara is telling you that Migli is a lie, but they want to use it as a great svara good, but it's a lie.
No, but we're saying if he's gonna lie, he could have lied better.
Yep. Okay. Fine. I'm not going to wait.
I know we have this every time. Every time we have Migu, we have this. We have this thing.
Sorry,
but no, it's good. But the point is that if he could have lied, if he would have lied, he would have lied better. Okay, but anyway, so let's see. So again, Rabbah said his din. Abaya, who was Rabbah's Talmud, asked him a kasha on it, right? And then Hadar Amrale, he went back and said, "No, that's not Rabbah saying to Abaya. That's the guys fighting." The guy living in the land said, Hadar Amrale in Ta'avasochi, he says, it was your father's. V'zavante minach, and I bought it from your father's. And this that I said it was my father's, and that I didn't buy it, I mean, he changed his story. Again, his original story was it's my father's. Rabba wanted to believe him because if he was lying, he could have lied better. Abaye says, we don't believe a liar when there's Edom against him. So then he changed his mind, this guy.
How does
And
he
he
change
said,
his mind?
you're right. Okay, right. So we're going to get to that. That's going to be the next. Good. We're going to get to that. But right now, he changed his mind. And he said, you know what? It's true. It really did belong to your father. But my father bought it from your father. Okay, so then why did I lie and say that it was my father's? Because I'm so saimich on this land. I feel that this is my land. It's almost as if I yarshened it. Right? Yeah, you hear what he's saying? So he changed his story. So now if you look into the Rashbam, it's just Kedai to look into the Rashbam here. It says, look to the right, it says Hadar Amalei in. Oh no, I'm sorry. Go up to the Rashi Amalei, fourth line down, Rashbam, fourth wide line down. Just Kedai, it's Kedai to spend a minute just to see, because it's a Yisai thing in Shas, which of course I don't understand it, but it's a Yisai thing. He says, the Rashbam says, Amalei Talmidoi Abaya. Rabba's Talmud Abaya, right, said to him, yeah, Mali l'shaker, Kloimar, meaning Mali l'shaker, you don't say Kloimar al yedei hai migu, the Mali l'shaker, this migu, that why should he have lied? Lo yiske bekarka. He should not be zeicha. Rabba said he should be zeicha. Abaya saying he should not have been. Sharei Eidim makrichim es dvarim, because the Eidim are saying different than his words. Shairim the shalavaisav, the idachi. Not because he's saying it's the other guy's father. The Gama Chazaka ain't a klum, and the Chazaka is nothing. Oh, he has a Chazaka. Shere ain't ima taina. Kim taina sheker. His taina is a lie. Meaning, normally we said right at the beginning of Cheskas about him that a Chazaka only works with a good taina. So meaning he has to say either I bought it from you, I yarshened it from you, I found it, or I don't know if I found it is a good one. Right. So here, what is he saying? I bought it. He's saying that was my father's. That's a lie. We have Edom that it wasn't his father's. Right. So that's what's saying. That's what Abaya's Talmud of Rabba's Talmud. Abaya was telling him. Halacha ke Abaya, and then the Rashbam says the halacha is like Abaya. Shari Rabba hoideloi kedemuchach va'azul. From the Gemara Vayter, it's mashma that Rabba changed his mind, and he went like Abaya. Right. Now look at the next Rashi. So Hadar Amalei in, right? The guy went back and changed his mind, and he said it's true that it was your father's, and my father bought it off your father, right? The reason is they were paskening like Abaya, so that's why he changed his mind. Dekanami, and this is the Yisod here. This is the first Yisod was before and here. Dekanami, the Ka'amar Gemara Omar Le Abaya, the Loi Ka'amar Abaya Omar. It's meduyik like that. That's how if it would have been Omar Abaya, then it would have just been Abaya saying his different opinion. But since Omar Le Abaya, so that was Abaya saying it to Rabba, and Mamela, that's why we're going with Abaya. And that's not why, but Rabba was masking to Abaya. So Omar Le is different than Omar Abaya. It's a good little riddle to remember. Not that I'm ever going to remember it. I mean, I wish I would. But right when he says Amar Le, that's Pasha that he's talking to him. Right? Yeah, so that's how we change it. Okay, so now we're done with that. So now the Gemara gets into what Rachman was saying. So Tayin b'chayzer v'tayin, or ain't Tayin b'chayzer v'tayin. Can a person taina and then go back and taina something else? Right? Or ain't Tayin b'chayzer v'tayin, or not. So now this question is not a question of him retracting. That's not retraction like Rachman said doesn't work. Right? Once you said your edus, you can't take it back. That we know. But here he's adjusting it. He's adjusting his time. He's saying, I said this, what I meant was this. Do we trust that or not? Right? And he goes and he says, let me explain what I meant. Right? Like under cross-examination, he explained himself differently. Do we take that or do we not take that? So Machlaikis Ula Amar Tain v'chaz v'tayin. You could do that. You could taina and then you could go and taina again. Nardoi Amri ain't a tain v'chaz v'tayin. Nardoi say you cannot taina and go back in taina.
I don't understand. Isn't it the job of the dayanim to be machaka the edim to be to ask them questions and to find out this and before
Yeah.
his edus is complete? No, he says it, but
Yeah, and yeah,
that's the mission in Pirkei Avos. I mean, harbor l'machaka edim, right? You know,
right.
so you don't have this checker business, or qualified checker.
Maybe it happened before they had an opportunity to interrogate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyways, well, we got. So let's see. So let's see how it goes. So again, Ula said Tayin, Chazar Tayin, and Nardai said you can't, which is interesting. I found that interesting that Ula is taking on the whole Nardai. Right? Seems like it. So anyways, Umayda Ula. So Uda again, Ula says he could adjust it, and Ula's Mayda Hechadam Le Shalavaisai V'Le Shalavisecha, where he says it was where the guy Taina again. Ula says he could adjust his Taina, but not where he originally said it was my father's and not your father's. In that case, he can't go back and change it because then he's changing his whole thing. Meaning, if he just said it's my father's, so then maybe we could believe him when he says, I didn't mean it was my father's. I just meant that I'm so secure with it that it's as if I yashin. But if he said it's not your father's and then he changed that song, that's too much. That's one caveat to Ula's shita. And when he was in the Bezdin and he didn't say anything, this maybe is like what you're saying, Racham, meaning he was in Bezdin, he didn't say boo. And then he went outside, meaning he came from outside the town. My time at Tanisa Agmare. Right? Because hey, when he went out for recess, when the court recessed, his friends told him, say this and this. So he comes back and he says, oh, by the way, right? So then Ula says you cannot believe his time. That's one way. Nardai also has two caveats. And why did Nardai? Again, Nardai said the new taina doesn't work. If he says it's my father who took it from your fathers, the chayz of a time, then he can go back and say,
bought it, not took it.
well, yeah, I'm sorry. He bought it from you. If he said, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Right? Then the chayz of a time, then he could go back and adjust it because he's not really changing anything. Right? He's saying that he's saying it was my father's who bought it from your father, right? And I yarshened it from my father. That's what he was adding. Right? Tosis actually is Mesupik. He brings the Riyas Mesupik that would we believe him if he went outside and came back in and said this taina? So that does Narda say that he's trusted in that much. And this I don't understand. This sounds like when they're all hacking around the outside court, right? Where they were just, before they went into Bezdin, they were hacking around outside, and he didn't say this thing about his father. But Loitan, and he didn't say it. For us, the Beidina and Vitan, meaning it sounds like in the right, at least in America, everybody has to tell their tinus to the other side before they get to the judge, right? All their proof that they're going to be bringing, right? So here they were hacking about it before, and he never said this. But then he came in front of Bezdin and he opened his mouth and said this thing. The chayz of a time, then Nardar is minded that he could be tied. Why? My timer of it English to Megali Tanisa Beidina. Because a person he's not gonna what do you call with your cards? He's not gonna let his there's a phrase like that. He's not going to reveal his he's holding his cards close to his chest or something like that. Right? He's not gonna let it all loose. He's not gonna show his cards, right? So therefore, this that he adjusted in the Bezdin, we're gonna say that's fine. Okay, so it's a machlek. So
we would discount this idea of a deposition. Because in America, a deposition is binding. So we would discount this idea of a deposition.
Yes. I never understood why this deposition thing in America, but yes, that would, according to Nardo, and I think that's what we paskin. It's not no idiot is going to do this deposition business, right? Yeah. So Amar Amema, no Nardo, no Amema said, I'm from Nardo. It's really the time I hold like Ula. Hilchos atayin v'chayz atayin, and the halacha is that you could adjust the taina. Again, you can't take it back, but you can adjust it. You can clarify. Right? Fine. Okay, next case. Each one says it belonged to my father. Right? So one of them brings edus that it was his father's, and he ate the years, not shnei, shani, right? Or shnei, I don't know how you pronounce it. Shnei, yeah, shnei. I mean, not two, means three. Just another one, right? The Gershon, shnei, right? Which is it's three though.
I was
Right?
going to say
Shnei
yesterday,
chazaka.
because v'achla doesn't mean eat. But shini also means teeth.
Right. Very good. Very good. So here it means v'achla shnei chazaka, which is how much? Three. Right? Okay. V'achla shnei chazaka. Again, eating doesn't mean eating either. V'achla shnei chazaka. V'hai aisi sadi d'achla shnei chazaka. So one guy brought witnesses that it was his father's, and he was in there for 3 years. And the other guy just brought witnesses that it was chazaka. Some Rav Nachman, and Nachman said, "Uki achila labahadi achila." You put the achila with the achila, and they cancel each other out. Meaning the chazaka, that each one has edim that they have chazaka, so that those negate each other, which means that one of them is lying. You can't have two sets of edim saying that each one had a chazaka, right? Because the one has to be lying. So we negate them. So then that means the other guy is left with two witnesses that it was his father's, right? So then we put the ara that it was in the chazaka of the father, and he should be the winner. But this whole edus is mukcheshes, meaning Rav Nachman is saying you can split the testimony, right? Rav Nachman is saying you can split the testimony, right? The first testimony is did I freeze? No, I'm good. Okay. The first meaning again, one guy had two things that the guy testified, and the other guy had one. So Rav Nachman said you could split it. The ones that there definitely was a liar, throw it out, and then we're left with just the testimony that it's father's. Rava says you can't split testimony. Either they're liars or they're not liars. If they're liars, somebody is a liar, so you throw the whole thing out. So why should we give it to one or the other?
No, they may not be liars. They may not be liars. He had two things. One guy only had the chazaka.
They are.
What?
No, what do you mean?
There are two people.
What do you mean? They had two chazakas on two different times?
No, I'm saying the guy with the Adam that's his father's, his chazaka may not be a lie.
What? No, each one had an Adam that there was a chazaka that each one was living in the field for 3 years.
Right, but they're both not lying. One of them is lying.
Of course, they're lying.
Well, why both?
One is but we don't know which one, so throw out the whole thing. Because is going to believe over the other.
But then he has Adam that it was his father's, so he has another. So that's another proof to his first Adam of chazaka.
No, well, that's the machlokes, whether we say that we split the edus or not, or do you just say no? Somebody's lying here, so a lying edus we throw out.
I understand a lying edus.
What's the problem?
May not be lying.
Somebody is lying. One of these guys is lying. Right?
Right, but he has a raya that
one
it's
of these
not him.
Sets of Adam is what?
He has a raya that it's not him lying.
Why? Because he also has Adis that belong to the father. It has no shaykhis to this. It could have belonged to the father. It's not a stira.
When you say we
the other guy could have bought it from his father.
What are we trying? We tell him to leave. We're not interested in the case at all. We tell him we're not. We say we throw out both cases. now they're still fighting over a piece of property.
This is not an interesting case.
I don't know.
They go home.
Okay,
they
whatever
beat each other up.
And the machlokes Rabba and Rav Nachman is whether we throw out the whole edus or we don't throw out the edus. That's the machlokes, right? So Rav Nachman said back to him, Amar le nehidus kachash ba'achilasa. Granted, yeah, they were so. Maybe that's what Naftali's saying. Maybe they were soiser each other, right? They were soiser each other when they ate. but again, not eating in the years that they're doing there. But the father part of the edus.
I think that I also
Yes.
means it was completed. They completed those 3 years.
It's completed. Yes, he completed
eating
his.
Eating just gets me hungry.
Okay, I'm sorry. So Bavasa mi is kachish, right? With the father, there was no hakosha. Fine. That's it. That's the machlokes Rav Rav Nachman. I don't know. Well, that's the machlokes. That is the machlokes, I think. Right? Let's see. Can the Gemara handle this? Rav and Rav Nachman looked at the Rav Huna and Rav Chisda community. Rav and Rav Nachman are having the same machlokes as Rav Huna and Rav Chisda. Why? To itmar base kitei edem mechicha zu. Right? If you have 2 sets of edim that are machish each other, right? So whichever type of edus. I mean, there's a couple ways you could have edim zayimim, or you could have in a regular. The guy could say, I saw this fellow or money, and the other 2 guys say, what do you mean? He was with us the whole day, so it couldn't have been. So they're machish each other. Some Rav Huna zuba b'fnei atzmo meida, zuba b'fnei atzmo meida. Even though we know one of these sets are lying, but that doesn't make them puzzle for a different edus. If we need them for a different edus, this set of edim can go to Bez, and we take their edus, right? Even though we know that one of them lied on a previous edus. What do I need edim that are shakronim? Right? We know that one of these guys it's a 50-50 chance that this set of edim are a bunch of liars. They're liars, so therefore they're out. Right? Pashat machlokes. Do we trust edim who there's a 50% chance that they've previously lied? So Rav Nachman Damak Rav Huna Rav.
So I'm saying, so a guy is just making up the claim totally. He's just totally lying. He's living in the house. He's living on the property, and he just says, "My father had it," or
here we're more.
He sold it to me. Just totally lying.
Here we're more worried about the edim. Right here we're more worried about the edim lying. Right, that the edim lied. But yes, with the other guys, that's exactly what these guys do. A crook does. He goes and he lies. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a Friday. This whole thing is bothering me because if we pass something like one, that means we're basically saying that this guy's a liar, even though we don't know definitively that he's a liar. Meaning, it's one thing if you have a bezdin when the guy's like today, one kid used a bunch of kids 35 water balloons without permission. Right, so the one kid wants him to pay, and then he broke the thing. So how much does he have to pay? All the balloons, because now his other balloons are useless. Good, so they're both coming, and they're trying to figure out how much he has to pay. So neither one is a Russia, right? Look, they mean to do well, but here you got Bezin has to decide that one guy's a crook, which that's what David's saying. I think like you can decide that. Okay, either way. So Gemara says, "Leimer Rav Nachman Damak Rav Huna v'Rav Rav Chisda." Let's say Rav Nachman saying like Rav Huna, right? And we don't trust these edim. I'm sorry that we do trust the edim. And Rava says like Rav Chisda, we don't trust it. So Gemara says, "I'll leave it to Rav Chisda. Kuli amalei pligi." According to Rav Chisda, right? Nobody disagrees, right? That in our case, again, Rav Chisda says that we don't trust these edim. So in our case, if edim that are machish each other are not acceptable according to Rav Chisda, so therefore we're not going to trust him for the part of his edus that it belonged to his father that works. Meaning Rav Chisda throws out these edim. So therefore, in our case, everybody's going to agree that according to Rav Chisda, there's no winner, right? Kipligi, I'll leave it to Rav Huna. But the machlokes is according to Rav Huna, who says these edim could say testimony in another case. Rav Nachman Rav Huna. Rav Nachman is going to say like Rav Huna that you could. For Rava, Adkan like Rav Huna elul eidos acheres. Rav Huna says, yeah. So for another independent testimony that they're going to, we don't have enough proof that they're liars. I say eidos lie, but for that eidos, you want to believe them for that same eidos? That you can't do. That's too much, right? Meaning for the same eidos, again, it was the same eidim. One of them, they're 50% that they're a liar, and the other, so we want to believe them on the other part. So that Rava is saying is not going to work. Fine. So then it says, "Hadar Isi Sadi Dav Hasehi." So now the story continues, right? Then he came back and he said, meaning the guy who Rav Nachman said, he gave it to the guy who didn't have the witnesses about the father. So then, then once they paskined it, he went and he brought Adam. Now what? Now they both have Adam, right? And this tashkafically, I don't know, Rabban, if you had problems with this. I have problems with this. I tried to look into this a little bit. We'll see what the teretz is, right? Again, the Bezdin paskin that since the other aid has proof that it was his father's field, he keeps it. Fine, they paskin that way. Then comes along the guy who lost and brings Adam that he had, that it was from his father, right? So now what? So meaning, had he brought it before they paskin, then it would have been a stalemate. It would have been in limbo. But now he's only bringing the Edom after the din. So what? So Rav Nachman says, well, we knocked him out, right? Meaning we put him down into the field because he had Edom anan maskinon lay. We're going to pull him out too, because if we have Edom that are contradicting it, so then you're going to pull him out. And we're not worried about the Bezdin looking weird, right? Imagine what the tzibur says. They come out with a psak. These two guys are fighting on the field, and they paskin one way. The next day they come out, oh, we got new testimony. Exactly what Rachamim asked before. Where was the Bezdin here with interrogation, right? The next day they come and they change their mind. So now you know what the tzibur, you know what's going to be on WhatsApp and on the internet, and this Bezdin, they don't know what they're doing, right? So Rav Nachman says we're not worried about the zilusa of Bezdin, right? The Gemara is going to come out that we're not worried, but it's not so posh because look at the next guy. Let's see how the Gemara plays out. So most of Rava had a kasha, and some say Rav Zeira was Shnaim on Mace. This is talking about Yibum, right? So trying to figure out if the husband died or not. So Shnaim on Mace, 2 Adam say he did die. Shnaim on Loy Mace, 2 said he didn't die. Shnaim on Niskarsha, or 2 said she got divorced. Shnaim on Loy Niskarsha, right? If she didn't get divorced, then she needs Yibum. She shouldn't get married because we have a stalemate, we have a contradiction. But if she did get married, she doesn't have to go out, right? Because it's a suffix, right? Because, and again, it has to be that since when do we say a suffix is okay by Arias, right? So we're saying that she is 100% sure that her husband is dead. Right? Fine. So whatever it is, so then if she got married, fine. Rabbi Nachman, Rabbi Yossi, Tate say, no, she has to get divorced.
Her Adis is no good. She killed the guy. Oh yeah, she killed the guy. All right. Or she saw the guy was dead, and her Adis is no good on that.
On herself. For herself?
She's not being made on herself. She's being made on a dead husband.
Right. So we're going to use that with the tziruf that they were Adam. If she got married, b'diavad. Right. So that's it. So when do I say she has to get divorced? That's only if the Adam came and then she got married. Right. But if she got married, meaning she got married based on the edus of the first Adam, which was correct. And then came another set Adam and said, by the way, the husband's alive. Then she does not have to leave. Why not? Because Bezdin looks bad. Right? Bezdin will look bad. And since Bezdin looks bad, we let her stay married. I don't know. I mean, what's the lumdus there? So you're letting a Isha go against it. It's a deraisa because Bezdin looks bad. Now, Bezdin didn't do anything wrong. New Adam came. What did they do wrong? What's the big deal? So they'll put it out. They'll have to get a PR guy who will have to tell everybody. Bezdin didn't change their mind because somebody gave them a good supper or a kickback. They changed their mind because New Adam showed up on the next boat and said that the husband's there, right? But he's saying that it makes Bezdin look bad, so we're going to let her stay married.
Maybe you lose faith. Maybe you lose faith in Bezdin then. People.
Okay, good.
That's the
okay, good.
Right.
It's the worst in the world. You guys,
right,
you guys are worried about fake tzitzis. This is the worst in the world.
Right, and then it makes it look bad. Imagine we say imagine with tzitzis, the Rav comes out and paskins that tzitzis is okay. Then he finds out that it's made out of polyester. So he wants to change his mind. Oh, I'm not changing my mind because it makes me look bad. Right? It's very hard ashkafically. I'm going to try. We're going to.
1 second. Isn't the marriage? I don't know. We used this svara before. Isn't the marriage kadash moisi Yisrael, and it's not behind Bezdin now, not behind Bezdin. So it's not that the whole first marriage was never there or something. Didn't we have something like that?
There's grandchildren walking around in the street from the first marriage. Saying it wasn't there. Wasn't there.
Okay.
There's 100 people walking around.
I was saying
46 guys learning in brisk. Our grandchildren say there weren't nothing.
I was just saying we had some Gemaras like this before, and I don't know, in Kedushin, I don't remember where.
That's not what the Gemara is doing here, though.
Yeah, it's gonna come up later too. Chas about
yeah, it's gonna.
I don't understand what's so complicated. It happens all the time.
Whatever, it's very difficult to understand.
25 years later, they overturned the conviction.
What does it have to do with Beston?
Same thing. The court
you saw a
overturned
case on Law and Order. What does it have to do with Beston?
Because he's saying if they find out that there's a reason to change it, if there's a valid reason, so you change it. It's that
he's saying you don't change. This Gemara is saying you don't change.
I know, and he.
That's right.
What Peretz is saying is the Heka Timsa is there, not that that's what Peretz is saying. That happens, not that the courts is this and based on that. Just this type of thing happens.
No, but it's
many years down the road, things can.
Hey, but the bottom line is you still lose faith. a jury of your peers obviously messed up, and so did the court.
Peers. There is no. I don't think we have a jury in Beis ever, do we? Is there such a thing as a jury?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's hard to understand.
There's no jury, but
no, there's no jury. There's no jury. Yeah, Amalei. So again, he paskined. So again, Rav Nachman paskined. We're gonna overturn it. We don't care that Bezdin looks bad. We have a kasha from Rav Menachem Rav Yossi. So Amalei. So he said. So Rav Nachman told Rav, "Anos sabri lemever uvda." Right? I thought to make this, to paskin the way I did, to change it. Hashtados. We see now that you asked me a good kasha from this brisa by Yibum, that you're supposed to be chayshid for the zilzul of Bezdin, va'is from Rav Hamnuna b'Surya, and Rav Hamnuna also asked this kasha in Surya, the same kasha, le'av dinan ba'uvda, we're not going to do it, and we're going to go with the original psak Bezdin, even though new Eidim came. Right? Am I frozen?
No, you're good.
No, we hear you.
I was good. Okay, so the screen is frozen. Anyways, so he changed his mind. Based on all this, he changed his mind. Right? Then we'll just do 2 more lines and then we'll start it up again with Shabbos. Nafak Avar Uvda, but even though Rav Nachman said he's going to change his mind, Nafak Avar Uvda, he went out and he did it and he changed his mind. Man de Chaza, and anybody who saw him change his mind, Savar to Usahi Biyade, that he made a mistake, meaning he announced that he's going to change his mind. He's not going to change his mind, I'm sorry. He's going to keep it the original psak, even though there's new Eidim. And then he changed his mind. So everybody thought he made a mistake. And it's not true. He didn't change his mind because he found big rabbis. Ashli Rav is ropes, large ropes, that also held that Bezdin could change their mind, and we're not worried about Zilzul Bezdin. So basically, even within the Zilzul Bezdin, it's a back and forth. Whoever was sitting in this court is gonna think like, what is going on over here? But I guess that's what goes on in court. So I don't know, but anyways, okay, we'll stop over there. Fine.
What time is Matzah Shabbos?
9:45, 9:45, we said, right?
Which line we stopping on?
Yeah.
I just lost my place.
We're stopping on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines up from the bottom, but it's not. But we'll probably back it up.
Lamed Aleph.
8
Lamed
lines from
Aleph.
Lamed Aleph on the base, on the
Uh,
bottom, towards the bottom. Okay. All right, we'll say a Tillim. Lamed Natseach, Yud Gimel, yeah, Lamed Natseach.